6? That's brilliant. And everyone said, yes, actually, Nico, that is brilliant. But I know I keep saying it, how great Nico Hülkenberg is, and people wonder why we, whether we sort of favouritize him or whatever. But, when he keeps putting in qualifying performances like that, you've got to say he is pretty special. Where is he going to go next year? Who knows? I hope he stays in, because I can't believe if he's not actually, if he doesn't get the seat, then he's actually not going to at Lotus. Then he's not going to be very chance he won't be in Formula One. Force India, as you just see the scene around here. This is family Di Resta here on the left, by the way, Pete. All those ladies and gentlemen sitting in here. 12th for Paul Di Resta, less than a tenth of a second behind Fernando Alonso, which I thought was pretty good, actually. And Adrian Sutil, who came out and said, oh, there's Paul. I was just saying, you're less than a tenth behind Alonso. It's really good. Oh. Didn't fancy a chat? Clearly not. Maybe I haven't arranged it with his PR person. He did make a... he's tall, isn't he? He did make a point... I was paying him a compliment. He did make a point, actually, that, when you put me in a car, I deliver. Which is true. But I don't know why else he's sort of struggling for his drive then. If that's true, why else is he struggling to find a drive? Anyway, Adrian Sutil, not through. He was told on the radio, sorry, Adrian, we're not through, didn't make it out of Q1. Why not, he said. Quote, we're not fast enough. So it was down to you, Adrian. Oh, dear me. That wasn't really very good. Williams. Now, this is a very interesting team going on with their Coanda exhaust. They were trying a 2014 development earlier on in the weekend, and that meant ditching the Coanda exhausts. And they found that it actually made the car, much to that man, Pastor Maldonado, and the other man over there, Valtteri Bottas's liking. They ended up 16th and 17th on the grid, but the car was much more to their liking. So I spoke about it in Free Practice 3 and sort of raised some questions about why that might be. I don't really want to interrupt this discussion because Pat Simmons and Alex Wirtz, with a very amusing logo on his hat, would, I'm sure, be able to tell me why that is. Maybe if I just sort of get near them and start talking about them, they might realise that I want to ask them a question. Does this work, Pete? Possibly not. And of course, Susie Stoddart is one of the support, one of the test drivers here. But I don't really understand how it is they could put the non-Coanda exhaust on it. Oh, here's Sir Frank coming in here, and it suddenly go better. But anyway, am I going to catch any of their eyes? Hello, hello, Sir Frank. How are you? No, they are studiously pretending to ignore me. That's fine. And look, Claire Williams is on the phone here, and she is going to ignore me as well. Can I ask you a question, or are you on the phone? Are you on the phone? You're on the phone. I'll let her ask her call. Can I ask you a question? Oh, that's, bless you. We've still got Caterham and Marussia to clear up. We're live, don't swear. Not that you ever do. Talk to me about the exhausts.
What about the exhaust?
Well, you were running Coanda exhaust for the whole of the year, and then you come here and tried a 2014 exhaust, something, to try out for next year. And has it made the car quicker?
We're P15 and 16.
That's about where you normally are. But the drivers, is what I'm told, say that they prefer the handling.
Yeah, I think they do. I think it's handling slightly better in the rear going into the corners, which is always going to help. But we're still in P15 and 16, and that's all that really matters to us at the end of the day. But, as I said, we're just testing a few upgraded parts for 2014 and see what happens with them, right?
OK. So maybe it's just that it makes it more drivable. The drivers like it. It stays on the car, but it doesn't necessarily reduce the lap time. Is that what you're saying?
Something along those lines. Yeah.
Brilliant. Okay. Are you at all afraid? A couple of people have said to me, what happens if there's a crazy race and Marussia or Caterham score 2 points? Is that a concern, or is it actually at the end of this point, does it not really matter?
No, it does. It's a massive concern. But, P9, no, that's clearly not where we want to end up in the championship. We want to be much higher up than that, but we certainly do not want to lose P9 either. So, yeah, there's a very clear directive at the moment that we need to hold on to that position. Okay.
And when's Ross Brawn joining the team?
Ask Frank. He's our TP.
Ask Frank. It might be true. You were meant to laugh and hit me and say, don't be naughty, Ted.
No, I'm just not saying anything. I think it's safer, right?
OK, yeah, it is. Claire, thank you very much. Wow. Oh, that would be so great. Wouldn't that be great if Ross Brawn joined the team? That would be fantastic. Pat Simmons, his old mate from Benetton, alongside, and Frank, directing things and get them back to greatness, that would be absolutely brilliant. Jean-Eric Verne here for Toro Rosso. Now, a while ago I said that Esteban Gutierrez had a small head. Well, I was interviewing Jean-Eric Verne the other day, and he's actually got a big face, and not quite as big a neck as Gutierrez. But yeah, he's handsome, don't get me wrong. It's the envy of a gentleman in the paddock like me, because he is seemingly the girl's favourite around the place. But I was just interviewing him. I just thought he had quite a big face. But I love him, don't get me wrong. Daniel Ricciardo lost traction in the last sector, so he's only beat P10 on the grid, but he should be okay for the race. And Jean-Eric Verne himself, nothing particularly new on the car. He just tends to struggle slightly in qualifying, but P14 isn't too bad for him. He can actually improve from there. Pete, have a look at the scene here. Not that kind of scene. Daniel Ricciardo, yeah, over there, as we talk about Caterham and Marussia. Well, this is a very glamorous race. Amazing. You do get quite a lot of that kind of thing. As we talk about Caterham, Van der Garde, 19th, but he's actually gone to see the stewards about Di Resta getting in his way. I don't think anything's going to happen about that. Pick is 20th with the penalty for Jules Bianchi. Bianchi is 22nd with his 5th-place grid penalty. And Max Chilton is 21st. He struggled to get the tyre temperature into his tyres in the out lap, and then struggled on the hot lap. But for this team, for Marussia, it's all about 10th place and securing that for the 10th place in the Constructors. So hoping that nobody else gets a 13th place to trump them to that position. Very lucrative it is. Right, so with the evening finishing up here in the paddock after the GP3 race, which, by the way, Danny Kvyat won. Next year's Toro Rosso driver, taking over from Ricciardo, wherever he is, doing Australian TV as well. That must be simple being on Australian TV reporter. You've only got 2 drivers to interview, and then that's it. 2 Aussies. It'll be down to 1 next year. Yeah, so Kvyat, next year's Toro Rosso driver, actually won the GP3 race. So well done to him. That might indeed be his trophy. No, it isn't. It's some kind of mini rear wing end plate mounted on a plinth. I didn't realise, actually, but most of, in fact, almost all of Toro Rosso sponsorship comes from Abu Dhabi. It's from an Abu Dhabi investment company who own Cepsa, Nova Chemicals, and I think there was something else. There's Falcon Private Bank, which is from Abu Dhabi as well. So it's very important, this part of the world, to Toro Rosso. I'm not quite sure they could continue if they didn't have it. Right, I've rambled very long for this time kind of thing, so apologies for that, but there's plenty of people to talk to. Join us for the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix on Sunday. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.